What's up, nerds? I'm James.
I'm Jimmy.
Did you know in France, they don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese? You know what they call it?
No, what do they call it?
A Royale with cheese.
Why do they call it that?
I don't remember that part.
Because they're on the metric system.
That is true. They don't got our stupid American system of weighing things.
But
God.
my favorite part of that, what do they call a Whopper? I don't know. I didn't go into Burger King.
If you couldn't tell already, our Flashback Friday this week is Pulp Fiction, the Tarantino classic.
One of my favorite reasons why James wanted to watch this is because of the John Travolta meme, where he's just looking around, which is the scene where he first comes in and he's got his little coat on. And he just snorted coke or heroin, whatever he was doing, and he's kind of lost as the voice of Uma Thurman is over the intercom. And he saw the meme and he's like, "What is that?"
I will elaborate. I have seen bits and pieces of Pulp Fiction. I've heard jokes about it. I actually didn't know the meme was from the movie until I saw that scene. I'm like, that's the meme, and it clicked. But it was watching it. It's like it gets clowned on so much because it's a successful movie that's brilliant. So of course it's gonna get jokes galore. But watching it was definitely like, I get it now. I understand.
And it's funny to revisit this movie that I believe was about 94 or so. I know it came out the same year as Forrest Gump, and they were going up in the Academy Awards together, and Forrest Gump won a lot of them because I think the Academy didn't quite understand Pulp Fiction. But revisiting Pulp Fiction now, this many years later, it still holds up as a great story. I think the editing is really what, I don't want to say saves it because it is a great movie, but the way it's edited and that it's got this Pulp Fiction, this pulpy feel to it really adds to it. Whereas if it was a linear story, I'm not sure it would be has been as tight. But revisiting it, the writing is so solid. The language going back and forth, the dialogue is just amazing.
Going with my, before I immediately lose every skill I've just learned from this class, AP Lit brain, I love the way it's written because it understands. When you write something that's nonlinear, you have to recognize that the end of the movie, it's not going to be the linear chronological end to the story, but it must have that emotional resolution, that ending that as much as it isn't the chronological ending, is the emotional ending and the perfect arc you need to get across. And Pulp Fiction delivers that perfectly because according to the timeline, what we see as the ending is actually really just the middle. It's not anywhere specific. And in an actual chronological timeline, it's just kind of like a middle point. It's not anything important. But because the way it's written and the fact that it's at the end when Jules comes to this revelation, literally, that he needs to walk away from this life if he wants to live, while Travolta's character, is it Vincent?
Mm-hmm.
While Vincent doesn't, it's this powerful moment of it's completing a character arc because in the rest of the chronological timeline, you don't see Jules at all whatsoever. He's gone. Travolta, we do see, and we watch him get his brains blown out. And that's what's so powerful about the way it's written, is that it's not just, let's tell a story in a unique fashion. It's, let's tell a character's story and a character arc in a unique fashion so that we leave off with the most powerful emotional resonance. And I love that in nonlinear storytelling.
And just the story is just batshit crazy. This is in Tarantino's second direction because he did Reservoir Dogs, but as far as I remember, third script because he did True Romance, which was just, again, batshit crazy. But the things that are going on the screen and the things that you want to learn about different characters, like what's in the briefcase. And now we've clearly dissected that a million times over, and supposedly it's Bing Rhames' character's soul. It's just fascinating, and that's why he's got the Band-Aid on the back of his neck, because the devil took it out of his body. And just all these things, and then we have just, like I said, batshit crazy. Bring out the GIMP. It's like, what the hell? And just being a dude from Ohio, and you're like, what's a GIMP? And then they bring him out, and like, what the hell is going on in this.
Anyways.
And then you have Bruce Willis, just awesome, choosing which weapon he wants: baseball bat, samurai sword, chainsaw. And you're like, which one's he going to go with? And samurai sword wins out. Just the allusion to Psycho as Bruce Willis is driving. And then you have Ving Rhames crossing the street looking fantastic. And my little Easter egg, which I love, is you have Mimi from the Drew Carey Show, is the person who kind of happens up on the accident, which is hilarious. Just all this crazy shit going on with phenomenal actors, which I think is kind of, we lose sight of the number of amazing actors that are in this.
Oh my God, the cast is absolutely incredible. And to add on to just nut, crazy, weirdo stuff that happens. My favorite is when Vincent comes out of the bathroom and Bruce Willis blows a hole in him, because it's like, had you just stayed on the toilet a little longer, had you just a little longer, and it plays into the whole thing where it's like, we should have got shot, man, and that whole thing. But anyways, I love the cast. The cast is just incredible. You have, of course, it goes without saying, Samuel Jackson, John Travolta, Uma Thurman. I'm already blanking on a lot of the other actors.
Ving Rhames,
Tim
Roth, Harvey Keitel.
Who was the he was supposed to play Marty McFly, but what was his name? Eric Stoltz. It's just
let's not forget Quentin Tarantino.
I know, right? It's just such a stellar cast, and every one of them just aces it on screen. There's not a single moment of wasted film, I guess is the best way to put it.
I also like that we have inappropriate moments of laughter. And unfortunately, we are on the same page with this. When John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are driving down the road after they just got the briefcase back, and Vincent Vega turns to the back with the gun, and he's asking the opinion of the guy in the back, and I don't remember that character's name, and Samuel Jackson goes over a bump, and then the gun goes off and blows his head off. He's like, "Oh!" You're like,
I just shot his head off.
Whoa! What just happened?
The best part is that Travolta's reaction, he is cracked on cocaine. He has taken the most amount of hard drugs I think any man possibly can. And he's just like, oops. It's like any normal person would be like, oh God. And he's just like, uh-oh, oops, my bad.
And then it leads to a lot of more humor where they go to see Quentin Tarantino's house, and he's like, well, those linens, they were a wedding gift or whatever, those towels, and Harvey Keitel just give him But you have Jules and Vince in the car. Why am I in the back scooping up brains? You're the one that shot me. You're like, this is so inappropriate, but it's hilarious.
And the fact that it's like, it's nice leather, so they have to remove it, and they're like talking about the practicality of the car rather than figuring out what to do with the body.
And we forgot to mention Christopher Walken. The whole story with Bruce Willis's character and this watch for 5 years in my ass.
He hid it up his ass.
It's like,
son, he hid it up his ass.
And that gives us the whole reason why Bruce Willis had to go back to get the watch, which led to why he had to run into Ving Rhames, which is why the gift was brought out.
It was up my puppy's ass.
It's why all these stories are hilarious and they tie in together, and it's phenomenal.
The best part is, this is crap that would happen in real life. I hate to say it. This would totally happen in real life. It like a soldier hiding a family heirloom up their anus. That would happen. A bunch of dudes ending up in like some gay guy's no sex dungeon. That's got to have happened. So it's like, it's absurd and it's nuts, but it's just barely believable.
I'm glad I don't live in that world, that's believable. Anywho, let us know what you guys think of Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction.
Hey, it's just a funny movie about friends and cheeseburgers.